So, as much fun as I'm having watching random shit fly off of people's ships as they leave ezbuild, hopefully they fix this thing soon and we can get back to life as semi-normal. But until then, let me show you a few alternatives that we can use and have some fun. But I also want to say thank you because another full fuel cell I like. Hello, fellow endos. My name is Rob, and welcome to another Starbase tutorial video as we talk about shipbuilding, upgrading, and buying ships. So I know a lot of you have probably run into a lot of the issues that are going on. Not defending anybody, but I will say this is not the worst launch of an early access game I have seen. I am looking at you, Ark Survival Evolved, and Conan, and StarMade, and Empyrean. So, yeah, the list is long. But if you haven't heard, the ezbuild is bugged. So it's probably best to avoid for the time being, even though I do love the smorgasbord of parts here. So far, I have gotten 40 of these warp cells, 40 of these fuel cells for free. I don't think I'll ever have to make another one as long as I have my ship until I upgrade to like something that just eats fuel cells. And I found a mining laser yesterday, like 20 workbenches. So let's start off by talking about picking things up that have fallen off. And I know the game does not explain this very well, but if you hit the P key, that is the put in my inventory key. So the E key is to grab things, but you don't actually need to grab anything. You just need to fly over to something, hit the P key, and it's now in your inventory. So if shit flies off your ship as you're coming out of the ezbuild shop because you used it even though they said it's bugged and don't use it, that is how you pick those things back up. Obviously, some things are too big to put in your inventory. Like if I try, that's interesting. If I try to put this whole thing in my inventory here, it's gonna make sounds. So what I need to do is go ahead and like unbolt the parts, and then I can take them. Right. Same thing with welding. If I get my welder out. That is not my welder. If I get my welder out, I can unweld these beams, and then I can just take that. And then it shows up in your inventory, and then you just drag it over to your station storage, and it is yours, right? So these things aren't worth that much money, but, you know, if you take apart enough of these things, you can sell them a bunch of times. But let's go ahead and talk about our first thing, which is building ships. So as we just said, the ezbuild hull is bugged unless, of course, you want to start a ship from scratch. And then you need to double and triple check and quadruple check that everything is actually attached before you go running off. Your second option when it comes to building ships is to use the ship design workshop. So let's head over there, and I'll show you a few things on that. I'm not going to go through the whole interface with Ship Design Workshop, but I will show you some interesting things you can do when figuring out how things work and why things work. All right, if we come over to the ezbuild, the complex build, whatever this place is called, where you basically design your ship from scratch. This will not let you upgrade ships, but it will let you design ships from scratch. You could also start a private editing session or a group editing session if you want to have your friend come in. So basically, you just need to form a group. And if you don't know how to do that, you open your thing here, you go to social, you go to groups, and then you just add friend, right? So they have to be on your friends list, or they have to be in a company that you're in. And if anybody's looking to join a company, you're always welcome in Chimera as we grow with this game. So let's go ahead into the private editing session here, and it's going to load up this like CAD session here and make some noises at you and load a bunch of stuff in. And here we go. So this is our build box. You can look around by holding the right mouse button and moving around. There are other ways to move up and down and such. If you hold the middle mouse button, you can kind of move in the up, down, left, right axis instead of looking around like that. Now, again, I'm not going to get into like everything with this. We'll do another tutorial on how to build a ship from scratch in here. But one of the things I want to point out is that if you go to File, you can open Pre-Made Blueprint. Now, this is a list of all of the pre-alpha ships and also the tutorial starter ship. So the labor module is in here. But you can look at all of the ships that had existed in pre-alpha, and we can go ahead and let's say we want to look at the carrier here, right? Why is this helpful? Because you can go through here and see how a ship is built, what parts are needed, etc. So if we look at these, as we click on these things, it tells us over here what these are. So we know by looking at this that it looks like you don't just need a thruster body, you also need a thruster nozzle. So if you have thrusters on your ship and you're like, why aren't these working? That is why you need the nozzle as well as that part. And if we go on the inside here, we can see that it's just hooked up to the plate, the large hard point here. And yeah, there's a lot of things we can click on to see what they do. Triangular thrusters have a combustion chamber right here. That is part of them, so you need that to make it work. And we can go ahead and if we click on move here, we can go ahead and move that away from the ship, right? And we can take a look at what's on the back side here. So we did have a thruster propellant converter and a thruster electricity converter that were also part of the workings here that were inside of these. So those actually go in the top of the thruster here. You can see there's openings. So, you know, that is how all of that works. So it's not just the thruster body, you need all of the other parts as well. And as you can see here, this is just the body. There is also a combustion chamber inside the body, which is this piece right here. And we can come over here. And then that's all attached. So like I said, this is helpful for kind of understanding how things work. So this snaps in here. This piece goes inside here, right? And then these pieces go inside there. And that is the full engine. So if you're buying parts on the market, you probably want to make a list of what is involved in all of these different things so you can understand exactly how this works. Now, if the easy build thing was working, and let's go ahead and get out of here. We're going to exit without saving. It's going to ask me anyway, save blueprint before exiting. No, I just said exit without saving. You don't need to ask me again. All right, so if we go out here, there's two things to understand in building. So easy build mode is specifically a thing that deals with modules. So if we look in our build list here, we have ship modules. So these things, if you spawn them, will not work with a ship unless it is being built in easy build mode. So if you are building a ship outside of easy build mode with, yes, you can build a ship outside of easy build mode. Don't use the modules. Or if you're going to spawn a module, you can drop it and then take the whole thing apart and then rebuild it. But modules are like pre-assembled things that snap together in easy build mode, and they don't have any relevance in normal building. What we want to look at when we're doing building outside of easy build mode is ship parts. So specifically beams, plates, and these specific things that go in those plates. Hard points, all the other stuff, right? So you can play around with those pre-made ships and kind of see how all of them are put together, and then go ahead and put things together yourself. In addition to that, you can use your multi-tool or omni-tool or whatever it's called in this game to see exactly what different things are on ships. So we're going to go ahead and talk about buying a ship as opposed to building a ship. And then we'll finish up with upgrading. So let's go. We're going to go over to the Easy Build shop, and I already have a teleport point for that, which is found in the lobby. And thank you very much for the people in the last video who pointed out in the comment section where some of these were. It really helped me find them, and hopefully some other people were helped by finding these as well. So we're going to go over to the Sunny Ship Center. Boop. And the Sunny Ship Center is the green building that is directly across from the Easy Build. Now, all of these ships are starter ships in this building. They all are able to be built with ore that can be found in the safe zone, and that's why they're called starter ships. So let's talk about what's needed to buy a ship. So if you're going to purchase here, you can see that there is a test flight option, and you can test fly the ships if it works. One time it worked for me. Another time I ended up in the middle of space just standing there, but you can always just exit the test flight mode. It'll put you right back where you were, so there's no getting lost in space with that thing. Anyway, you have two categories here, required and available. Available tells you what you have already. So if I was going to buy this ship, I would need 17,000 or 10.1 stacks of Bastium ore. I have the 0.1 stack, so I would need to go get 10 stacks of Bastium ore, and then I can buy it. In addition to having all of the ore requirements, you also need the price of the ship. So you need the 125,132, and that is your assembly cost. So basically, you're giving them all the ore, and they're going, okay, we'll go ahead and process this ore for you and make all the materials and put the ship together, and the cost of that in the labor is going to be 125,000. So that is how that works. There's a couple ships that I would recommend, and they are not on that side of the showroom, so we'll go over here. The ships that are facing the Easy Build area, I would recommend any of those as your first starter ship. Either the Trident Tier 1, which has 50 crates and a top speed of 106, and is very yellow, or the, well, these things are spawning in quick today. They must know I'm doing a video, so they're not going to make me stand here for an hour waiting for it to render. This has, you can see also that this one has upgrade points already set for you to attach mining tools like mining laser, mining collector, mining detector, all that stuff. So I personally bought this one, and one of my friends bought that one, and he's very happy with that as well. So that is also cool, and it also tells you here that this is a variant of the ship Marmot ST, originally made by Okeem. So you can actually go visit the Okeem Shop 2, which is one of the green-yellow shops, I think, that it's up on one of the tiers there. All right, so let's say we wanted to look at that ship in Okeer 2, because it said that's where it, well, it actually didn't say that's where it was. I used the website on the wiki to determine which of the Okeer buildings it was going to be in, and it said that it was in Okeer 2. So we're going to go in there and take a look at the original ship. Whee! And let's do the magic of videos to get to that. All right, it finally decided to spawn in, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at how this one is different than the starter version. And you can already see it's got the mining lasers on here and the other mining collectors. Oh, somebody's playing with their weapons out there. We can also see that it's got some extra, what are these things called? Oh yeah, let me open up my tool here. Radiator bases. So if we wanted to see what we need to add these, so let's say we're looking at this right here. What is that? Okay, that is the ore collector. We also need a utility tool body. All right. We need a fixed weapon mount too. And we need a rail cannon capacitor. So we have the utility tool and rail cannon capacitor. We have the utility tool body. And we have the ore collector itself and the fixed weapon mount too. And that's all bolted down and everything else. So if we had these materials that we buy from the auction house, and you can open the auction house by hitting the comma key, or the key that's right next to your period. I believe that's comma. If you hit that, it opens up your auction house, and you can go ahead and look in machinery and kind of search for those things. So if we were looking for a rail cannon, so rail, nope. What are we looking for? Fixed weapon mount 2. So we can get a fixed weapon mount 2 for 65,000. There's 52 of them available. And then we could do some upgrades. There is also some other stuff that goes into this, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But we can talk about upgrading in a smaller capacity with the starter ship. So let's do the magic of video and fast forward over there. This is actually a pretty cool ship. Oh yeah, before that, I just want to point out, like on this one, you can see that we also need Arcanium, Agesium, Cutonium, Exorium. So that's all stuff that is found outside of the safe zone. And let me pop up a little graphic here that shows you where all of these are. So it's better off for you just to start off buying one of the ships from the Sunny Ship Center as a starter ship and either upgrading it or, you know, taking your time to get out into the deeper sections to get some of this rarer ore that you see here. All right, so before we talk about upgrades here, I just wanted to point out that if you hit escape and you go to insurance transfer, any of the points that you have found on the little TV monitors, you can actually transport to using that insurance transfer function. So far, I've discovered the Marketplace, ezbuild, Ship Design Workshop, Mining Job Center, and Sunny Ship Center. So if I wanted to go to any of those real quick, I could just click on there, you know, hit escape, do insurance transfer, click on there real quick. So if I find myself like way over at K-Bot or something, and I'm like, all right, I need to go back to the landing pad, I can just do that and easy zip over here. But now that we have this ship open up here, let's go ahead and talk about upgrading. So this ship is technically set up for the way that it works on the ezbuild shop. But since we have the ezbuild shop broken, we're going to talk about how would I go about upgrading this without using the ezbuild shop, because the game does not talk about this or tell you or anything else. So I found out about this just by playing around, and there's a lot of things that I'm still working on, like stations and stuff, that I want to get a better understanding before I make a video on it and say this is how this works. So we have a couple beams here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag that into my hotbar. And I'm going to make sure that there's a couple in my inventory here that it can grab from, because for some reason it does not like grabbing things out of station storage and such. So we're going to hit C to make sure that we are in snap mode here. And we're going to snap a couple of these on if we can get it to line up. All right, so come on. Don't be a boosterd. Ah, almost had it. Ah, is that it? No, there we go. All right, so we can slap these down on here, and we can kind of see how like these are built out in the other section here. And actually, I think we would need another part first. So let me go ahead and hit P, put that back in my inventory. And I'm going to get this piece right here. And we'll grab that here and drop it in our hotbar. All right, so now that I have this piece, this is the piece that I want first. So if I was going to add a side section here, let's actually do it down here. Actually, it's not the piece I want, but this will do for example. Oh, there we go. Nope. Come on. Come on. It's really not very easy to get these things to turn the way you want them to before snapping them on. There we go. That should do. All right. So there we go. We got one. And then we would probably put one right there as well. So do I not have any more of those? I thought I picked up a bunch of those. Oh, well. This is just an example anyway. So if we're going to snap this on like right here or anywhere, whatever, as you can see, this is not the greatest way to do this thing. You kind of have to mouse in and out and play with it, and I really wish there was like some better snapping points, and maybe they'll fix this in the future. Fuck it, we'll just put that there. I'll take this off. Go away. Alright, so we got another one. We can kind of like put this right here. And maybe if we had a shorter pipe, we don't really want to go all the way out, but we'll just slap these on here. I'll say we're setting up for something, right? And then we would get our welder out, and you go ahead and hold down, and now it's welded. Right? And now it won't fly off of your ship. So just because it's snapped on there does not mean it's actually part of the thing. You still have to do the welding tool. And then the same thing with plates. If we go ahead and find a plate here, yeah, here's a plate. So we'll go ahead and bring that down to our hotbar. And if I can get this to snap on top here. Come on, line up. There we go. So once that is on there, we would go ahead and take our nail gun and nail that down. Now let me show you another thing here. If you open up your multi-tool again and we go to blueprint, this game does not want to work for me. There we go. All right, so if we turn on our durability mode right here, and this is also, if you're getting a lot of durability errors, you'll want to turn that on and take a look. So obviously this is red, so that's not going to have a good durability. This is not green, so that's not going to have a good durability. But if we go ahead and take our, apparently I'm going to have to close this first, take our nail gun. Is this the nail gun? That's the nail gun. And we're going to go ahead and shoot a couple bolts in here. Obviously, this is not going to be very durable, and it's going to tell us, I hate you. Oh, nope, it just turned green. So this is actually perfectly fine now and will not fly off your ship. Now, I can't say the same for these beams down here. What we'd need to do is basically connect these beams, and then they would turn green. So if we got those pieces I was talking about earlier, the crossbars, and we can kind of tell what things we need to buy, right, from this. So if I went over here and I pointed at this thing here and I go back to material, it's going to tell me that this is a beam intersection C, 36 centimeters. And we would go ahead and buy that from the auction house and slap that on there, and then we would be able to connect these all together. So yeah, going back to the first thing I said when we talked about building, just taking things apart to figure out how they're put together and then reverse engineering that is the way you'd want to go. I'm not going to go through the whole thing of like upgrading this, but if I wanted to, I could upgrade this outside of ezbuild. And now you know why it's called ezbuild, because this is not easy. Same thing if I took a cargo crate here. Get out of my inventory. If I took a cargo crate here, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and hit 7 and try to get it to snap on top here. Fuck it, I'm just going to put it on the roof. All right, so let's say I wanted to put this on the roof here. You just got to make sure that it is bolted down again. with the nail tool. But you can see when you open your nail tool that these areas right here turned orange. So I want to put a bolt there, bolt there, bolt there, bolt there. Otherwise, if you don't bolt all of these areas, it will fly off the ship and it turned green. So I technically don't need to put any more bolts because it is green and we are good to go. So if you just wanted to get friggin' crazy and just strap a bunch of these things to the top of your starter ship, you could technically do that. If you wanted to go through all of the pain in the ass of putting all of these beams together and then welding them and then doing the nailing and all that other stuff, that is what you would go through. Now, let me just say, as we get back here, how you would take these back off. So with the nail gun, you're going to use the right mouse button. The right mouse button is always the remove button. So we're just going to hold it on here. It automatically takes all of the bolts off as long as you hold the button. And then we can just hit P and it's back in my inventory. And then we'll go ahead and get the welding tool out. We're going to hold the right mouse button until it's unwelded. Hit P, it's back in my inventory. Unweld, hit P, unweld, hit P, unweld. And you can also hit E and like move it around again, find a different place to put it, etc. Snapping really sucks. Hopefully they figure this out. P, it is early access, so I have all the hopes, I guess, that will be figured out. I'm just gonna leave that cargo crate there. Why not? But that is that. Obviously, you would need to go back into your blueprint thing here and turn off the durability section. Otherwise, you're just going to see green ship for the duration of your flying around. And this shows like beams frame durability as well. And everything looks good because I don't see any red or anything like that. But that's the... Oh, and the ship got despawned. But that's the gist of how that works. Whoop. And hopefully you found that helpful. So that is all I have for this video today. Obviously, if you liked the video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, sorry. And feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell anytime you want to be notified. If you want to be notified of any future videos that I post, whether it be on this or Dual Universe. I will be doing a lot more videos. If you'd like a more in-depth on anything, let me know and I will try to figure it out. I am right now trying to figure out stations. As it stands, there's not very much reason to build a station other than just to have it ready for when they get to the station org station stuff like manufacturing and industry. But right now, you basically can only just build a station. There's no storing your ships on them. They do have their own internal storage, so you can use it as like an ore storage drop-off point. But otherwise, it's just fun to know how to do things, in my opinion. So that is my video today. If you've got any comments on what you would like to see covered in the future, I will try to learn it and give a more in-depth coverage demonstration, whatever you want to call it, on how these things work. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed, why not? And don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I drop a new video, whether it's on Starbase or Dual Universe or any other early access game that comes up. Right now, it's just these two games, as there's not really that much going on in the early access field. I think coronavirus probably had something to do with that. So until next time, I'll see you out here in space. Stay safe, my friends.